Good. I'll give an injury update. So Luke Ayling had successful surgery yesterday. Based on how the surgery went, we're hopeful that it's not too long, somewhere between 2 and 4 months. We'll see exactly how he progresses, but it's a knee issue that he had to get sorted out. So we decided to take this time to use to get him healthy. Tyler Roberts was in training today, but will not be available for selection. It was his first day back in training. Good to have him back, and he's ahead of schedule and will be certainly ready for the start of next year. And then Patrick Bamford has looked really good this week. We still haven't made a final decision on exactly where he'll stand for the moment on Sunday, but he had a day off today inside to recuperate effectively, but we're hopeful that we can make the decision in the next couple days that we can make him available for minutes on Sunday. Second, I want to congratulate Everton for hard-fought last couple months for them, and obviously what a game for them to come back and show resolve and belief and manage to keep themselves in the league. So congratulations. And then for us, obviously the results haven't always gone our way in the last month. We went from after Watford being 9 points up or 8 points up and looking like things were relatively secure to then having a lot of teams around us win matches and being sucked down back into the relegation zone. So, but all I can just say is that we're excited. We're excited for this challenge. We know we have to be at our best. I never came here to think that this was going to be easy or that it was a given that we were going to stay in the league. I knew we would have to fight for everything, and that's the way it's been. And I'll make sure that that's what I represent on Sunday, and make sure that our team does the same. So, again, we're really excited for the match on Sunday.
Hi, Jesse. We now know, though, that it's a straight shootout between Leeds and Burnley to stay up. Can you just talk us through the emotions from your point of view of last night? Was that a real roller coaster for you watching the other games? And how do you approach the match this weekend from your perspective? Do you have to try and take the stress out of the situation and just focus on winning your game?
So, I watched the matches last night. It's obviously not easy, and there are a lot of emotions going through me when there's different moments in the games. But I think watching the matches as well, there's always a little something to learn about how teams respond, how teams handle moments, what the body language is like, how players and teams handle difficulty, and so make sure that we are ready in all those ways. Yeah, going into the match, I think we want to be aggressive. We know that we want to win, and if we win, we give ourselves the best chance. I think I've been in these situations before in different leagues where on the last day, whether it's for a championship or placing in a league that you need to know a little bit what's going on in another match and how to manage that throughout the game at halftime in every way. we'll have communication with our team at halftime for sure, and throughout the second half. But the key is that the focus for us is to have a good start, to bring ourselves into the match really well, to be positive, to find a way to get a lead, and in the reverse way, that can put pressure on Burnley in the moment if they know that we're having a positive result in our match. So again, it is a moment where we have to still focus on ourselves to be our best and play our best, but also know exactly what's going on in the other match.
How have the players reacted to last night's results? What's the mood like, and how does it impact their mindset knowing that it's not necessarily in your own hands anymore?
Yeah, I think everybody, everybody's got a few comments about mixture of being pissed off and emotional or disappointed. But the mood in the training center today was really good. It was upbeat, it was positive, and we know that we have to maintain a strong mindset and be ready for a big moment on Sunday.
Is this the biggest game of your managerial career when you look at the stakes?
I was asked that a few times in interviews yesterday, and I answered it honestly in different ways, but in the end, who cares? What's important is that our team and that we here in Thorpe Arch are ready for a huge challenge, and that we're positive in our mindset, that we believe that we're going to get this done, and that we're clear with exactly what we want the game to look like, and that we're clear with what the opponent is. So that's what's most important.
Thank you.
Jesse, is it a lot easier in some ways that now you know exactly what needs to be done?
It would have been a lot easier if we were already locked into the league, but the fact that we only have one match to keep track of, and we know that we have to outpoint Burnley, I think, it does make it very clear for us, and that a win gives us the best opportunity.
You've said that the lads are in good shape, getting about some results last night, whatever, but what's it been like handling their emotions this week? Have you had to give them extra care, if you like, get to pay more attention to certain individuals?
I mean, I think I do that anyway. I think that's something that I care about is what is the mental standing and emotional standing of every player in our team, and then the group as a whole. And I try to represent by how I carry myself and the things that I say, what I would like our team to be, and how I would like our team to behave and handle moments. So, on days like today, days after losses and tough moments as a manager, I think that's when you have to be at your best. And certainly come Sunday, I want to be at my best and give our team and our club the best chance to perform at the highest level that we can. And that's been the focus all week, but it hasn't required a lot of extra energy. The lads have been focused, and the desire to do whatever we can is at an extremely high level, and we're going to need that again. We're going to have to dig deep again to survive and thrive and get through this.
Robin Cock, he looked to have a knock last time out. Will he be available, and are there any other injury concerns for you?
Yeah, no, Robin trained today. And then no one else, everyone else that was available last weekend will be available again.
So you think he'll be involved?
Yeah, he'll be in. I think he'll be ready from the start.
And also, there's been a little bit of need between the two clubs. Prior to your time, Thomas Frank, either Tony, there's Pontus Janssen there, what have you, and then a few other bits. Does that come into your preparation in any way? Have you fed off that, or can you use that as a tool?
I heard about it, and obviously some of our players are connected with that in the history of the two clubs. Eddie Gray was here yesterday, and he told me that in the old stadium at Brentford, it was always incredibly difficult to play there, and that with the newer stadium it's really nice, but the energy is not as powerful, and that maybe it's a little bit easier to play there now. But we expect in their last match of the season, and when they're in the first season in the Premier League, for their fans to be there to celebrate what an incredible season, and for their team to perform for their fans. And I think at this point we don't need any extra motivation, and we need to expect that Brentford will be at their absolute best, and that's what we will do.
And finally, Jesse, obviously it could go either way. Have you spoken to the 49ers and Andrea this week just about what will happen on the other side of the weekend? Whether it's yes or no?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've again not had any communication other than to say that they have done some behind the scenes planning to make sure that we're in good shape in any direction that the seasons may go in, that financially, that with the player pool, that with what the future will bring, that we are very secure and able to move forward in a positive direction, which they said to me from the very beginning, right? Before I came here and I asked the questions about what will it look like if it goes in this direction and what will it look like if it goes in that direction, they were clear that they had a plan. They were able to map out some of what that plan looks like, and there was clarity already. So, my focus and then in that sense, they've kind of left me alone to not have to focus on anything other than the job at hand and to make sure that I do everything I can to keep us up. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
We've talked about your support for the players. How do you personally cope with the pressure? What do you do as a manager to cope with that?
I actually slept pretty well last night after the matches because I still have a lot of confidence in our group. And obviously it's better when we fully control that with a win we're definitely in, but that's not the case. But the preparation to make sure that we do whatever we can to make sure that we get the 3 points on Sunday is the most important thing. So obviously there are stresses involved. I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay. I mean, like I said, I'm not just saying I'm excited. I am excited. I mean, you don't work in this business unless you want to be in these situations. And like I said at one point, most of the situations for me have meant fighting for titles more than fighting for your life. But whatever, fighting for results, doing whatever it takes to be successful. That's what this will require.
And if Patrick is back, just talk to us about how much of a boost that would be.
Yeah, well, I would say in general in training, he's looked quite good. And I think I may have even said from the beginning when he had this injury that they say that sometimes the best thing for this injury is to actually rupture it because then it releases the tension in the actual tendon. And that's been the case. He feels very different than what he felt like 6 weeks ago when he was even trying to play. So, that's good. I think he's looked good. I think he'll have a positive impact. And we're just trying to physically prepare him in every way to give us hopefully as many minutes as he possibly can.
And just finally, obviously it's been a great season for Brentford. What is the key to getting the better of them tactically, in your opinion?
Well, there's moments in the phases of the match that I think we have to manage. They're good against the ball and good in pressing moments, but they also have really good movements when they have the ball. Eriksson is a key for them. He's had an incredible positive impact on their team since he's gotten healthy and started playing again, which is obviously a great story in football. And then one thing about them is set-piece situations. They're very creative. They have dynamic players. Eriksson puts very good balls in. They have a lot of variance in what they do, and we've prepared our team. Today was a set-piece day, so we worked entirely on video and on the pitch on making sure that we understand what we want those moments to look like.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Great. Jesse, has anyone in the staff been through a scenario quite like the one you're facing Sunday with information coming from other grounds and whatnot?
I mean, like I said, I have. I've been through this a lot. And I know how to stay focused on us, but to also make sure that we communicate the correct information at the right time so we know exactly what's important. Obviously, again, 3 points is the most important, but you can be in a situation where maybe 1 point is enough, and what does the game look like? What does the other game look like? So, and then, I mean, everybody in the staff has some football experiences for sure. But I've been on the last match day. The weirdest thing for me is even that we had to sit and watch a match day last night that wasn't in congruence with the rest of the league and then wonder what the results were going to be on the last week of the season. That is very unusual. But all of us in football, as footballers and as managers, have been through these moments.
How do you create an environment that takes the consequences away from the players' minds?
Yeah, right now it's virtually impossible, right? I try to not be a result-based manager. I try to be based on the process. But I've had 12 weeks where that's been or 12 matches where that's been really tough to manage, and certainly this one will be the toughest. However, the message has been that we've had a lot of experiences together in a short time, and I think we've grown together a lot as individuals and as a group. We've modified a lot of the things that we do, everything from how we behave here at the training center to the way we play, to our routines. And this this final match day has to be a representation of everything we've been through in a positive way to be at our best and put our best performance on the pitch for this moment in time.
Baron, you suggested there's a bit of doubt in your voice about Patrick then. That decision clearly hasn't been made yet. What do you need to see in the next 48 hours to make that decision? What are you and Rob still mulling over?
Well, more than anything, that we're not risking him at any level. At the moment, I don't believe we would be. And then to just have one more meeting tomorrow with Patrick to go through, what it's looked like, what the loads have been, how he feels, and then do a final assessment of, is he available, how many minutes, what's the best strategy, and then we have to be ready to let him go and play. So that's where we're at.
It's interesting what you mentioned about Eddie there and the talk he came in it and gave. Was it purely about the Griffin Park angle and the fact they're in this new stadium now? What else did Eddie talk about?
Well, Eddie, he didn't come to give a talk. He just was here. And then he's such a wonderful man. And he has a lot of wisdom. And he's been very generous to me. So, I like speaking with him. I feel like he's a real person, that he has real experiences. And he's incredibly positive. So we talked everything about what this club is to the community, to what it's like to come here to this training center, to what it's like to represent Leeds United, to his nephews and sons, and his connection to what football is, this club is, to the future of the club with his great nephews and grandsons and everything. So what an incredible man he is, and that he still can, at his age, go jogging 3-4 times a week and stay fit, and he looks like a machine. So, it was great. It was great having him here, and really nice for me also to have that experience.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thanks.
Well, Jesse, you said when you first came here that your intention was to be head coach whether you were in this division or in the Championship. How do you see it now, and is your position still the same? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm here. When we talked about coming, this was about a long-term project, and I'm thankful that the club committed to me in that way. Now, you always know as a manager that if things get tough, that you never know what the future can hold. But I believe that the connections we've made and the work style and ideas of what we think this life of football life is really mesh well together. The support I've had from everyone has been amazing. But again, I'm not thinking about, right now in this moment, I'm not thinking about the long-term project. I'm thinking only about Sunday and doing everything we can to prepare ourselves for that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Stuart, I'll come on to you.
Jesse, obviously the motivation on the weekend will look after itself, but how do you sort of strike the balance between the aggression you want to see and over-aggression?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit after the red cards, right? That the motivation here is never a question mark, and the work ethic and the commitment. And I've said all along that it's about my ability to guide their efforts in a way that can help them be successful as a group. That's a challenge right now. It's just about, again, my behavior and my belief and exuding that with everything I say and do. And then, making sure that the clarity of exactly what the match plan is and what we want the game to look like and how to handle different moments in the match, and to make sure that each player is clear with his role and what we want it to look like, and that as a group and guys off the bench, and that we're together and we're bringing Adam, we're bringing Stuart, we're bringing Luke, we're bringing Dan. Everyone's going to be there together. This is going to be about us being as strong a group as we can possibly be, and to be able to stand tall at the biggest moment in our season.
Thank you very much. Tanya, have you thought about the final words that you'll say as you send them out, or will you maybe leave it to the players themselves to do that?
I've done a mix of that always, but I have ideas through the week that I think will be important for some of the motivational clarity. But I also kind of have to feel the moment at the end too. So it's a combination of everything. And then there are times when I ask the players to say something or to be ready to say something. And at the very least, be ready to have energy to support the group in all these moments. And they've done a great job. Again, the fans, as difficult as this has been, the fans should be really proud really proud of these young men and the way that they've come to work every day and the belief they've shown and the commitment to each other that they've shown.
I'm going to go Mike, David, and then Sunday.
When you're watching the Goodison game, the fans on the pitch at the end, does that show the impact that survival can have? Also, just a view maybe on safety of players and managers, because obviously.
Well, I saw that at
Patrick.
And I saw it in Nottingham too, right?
Yeah.
So you want to see passion from the fans, but you want to see respect for the game and the players and the teams, and so some of these scenes are tough to watch. However, I don't need reminders of how important the moment is. We are very clear on that, and our fan base has been amazing throughout the process. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
And
sorry.
Yeah. At stake as well as survival is this group of players that have been through so much together. Obviously, many are internationals that would want to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
At stake, is it this group staying together as well?
Well, I haven't gone through player by player and scenario by scenario exactly what the consequences could be, but I'm very aware that the best chance for us, there's always changes season to season, always. But the best chance to keep the core of the group together is to stay in the league. And so I've really enjoyed the group. I would hate to see some of the guys go because I think I've made a real connection with the players here. We've really enjoyed our time together. And I think there's big potential of what we could become. So that's a big part of my personal motivation, is to continue the relationships that I have here. So, yeah,
David,
for sure.
Have you done anything different or special to try and inspire the players this week?
No, and in sometimes moments like this, I think you have to be careful about over motivating or changing too much, because it can sometimes add more pressure or more gravity. I don't think we need that. I think we need to stay calm and be clear. So that's a big part of what this week has been like, is really focusing on Brentford, what we want that match to look like, and how we want to play.
Did Eddie just speak to you, or did he speak to the team as well when Eddie was here?
No, Eddie was at the side of training, and he had a conversation with a couple guys that obviously have known him over the years, and then we spoke. Jacko was around, and yeah, so.
Okay, Sunday, so come